Riot Games Arena, it's time for the first elimination match of the Stage 1 playoffs. Give it up for 100 Thieves!
100 Thieves got a lot of pressure, as you heard a few of those players talking about it going into today. Losing out on that matchup yesterday, an absolute heartbreaker for them. A lot of hype for this team coming into the season, Van Silly, but yet they have not been able to put things together the way that they wanted to. That being said, opportunity here today to turn it around.
100%. I also feel like Coach Zix has been working overtime for sure to make sure that they could fix all those little mistakes that could allow for them to have potentially good maps on their strong picks. I'm hoping to see maybe coming out with some split if they can bring the veto back into the way. Yeah. Even though if they lost it against MIBR, it's still one of their strongest maps. Or maybe bring out some Fracture where they've been pretty decent.
Yeah, well, let's bring out their opponents.
And now let's bring out their opponents for this do or die matchup. Give it up for NRG!
A very similar story on the other side of the stage. Let's not forget that in this season, coming into this was like the preseason team. This was like the squad where everyone was like, oh man, NRG be cooking, dog. And then it all just came crumbling down around them. But similar to 100 Thieves, big opportunity here for them to turn that around and really start a run here, Brent.
But only one chance, and it's in this match right here, right now. There are no second chances. You're starting in the lowers, but you've got veteran presences on this team. They've been in similar spots to this before. They know what it takes to really be a winning team as well and to go on a run like this as well. I have high hopes for this NRG squad. Whether or not today is the game that actually is that turning point for them, yet to be seen. But looking at the map pool as well, I mean, okay. You see them, what are they trying to remove here? So NRG banning split, which makes a lot of sense, I think. You want to be removing that. 100 Thieves are looking mighty good. One of the biggest issues for NRG right now is that because of the recent changes they've been making, their map pool has basically been playing catch-up, I think. They've been struggling, I think, to have a deep map pool to go the distance, I think, against a lot of certain teams as well. So Fracture as well is a map where NRG have been having a lot of struggles on in the past. So I'm curious to see what 100 Thieves are going to be looking for on that map for it to be their main prio pick and the first map that we go to in the series.
I'm actually quite surprised that we're seeing the tiebreaker, at least that it's floated through being iSpot, so that's a little plus of our energy if it goes to that spot. Because if you're looking at them not picking it the first time, and you remember they came out with that triple flash composition, it looked very good. You're allowed to play very, very loose in Mata, and they got some really good results in their victory against Leviathan. I thought that would have been a sure pick for them to try to win this map on their side to just hopefully win a 2-0. Now they have a chance now for 100 Thieves to maybe close it out on their side.
Oh boy, and of course, as we mentioned before, this is an elimination game. You win here, you stay alive in this tournament. You have a chance to go to Toronto and fight in front of the crowd in Canada, but you got to get through this one here today, Vance.
And that's the thing. You have a chance to play for a crowd in the hometown for two of the players over at NRG. This matchup, not only this matchup, but this tournament means a lot for Mata and for FNS. Both two players coming in from Toronto themselves, not just Canadian players, but coming from Toronto and pure downtown as well. This is going to mean a lot here for NRG to start off this run. And again, as Ethan mentioned before, they feel like they can win the whole thing.
Absolutely. I'm going to focus more granular as well into this matchup at hand. But I mean, NRG is a team. Part of the reason they were able to get that win versus Leviathan came down to the pistol rounds. We kind of mentioned it just really roughly at the beginning of when we were talking about them, but they won 4 out of 4 in their matchup versus Leviathan. It gave them a huge buffer to work with. It gave them time to adapt to what the enemy was doing to them. Something that NRG really need to prioritize, I think, and put a full focus on, because if they don't win those pistol rounds, potentially looking like potentially a quick series, I don't know, 100 Thieves can come out with a lot of ideas and just come out with a couple of heavy left hook, right hooks right off the rip. NRG don't give them any time to really adapt whatsoever. We'll see how this ends up coming out.
Yeah, and I think I saw some interesting stuff in the compositions there. There you go. That's the one I was looking for. Yeah, Chambers coming into this one for Cryo. Okay.
Something very normal coming out for 100 Thieves as well. I mean, if you're looking back on the defensive side, of course, when they're playing on this Fracture, especially where he's started right now, like he's been very good at just sectioning out the dish area as this Chamber role, and also getting very good duels that he's able to win, like 2v1s, able to escape. So that in a game plan itself for 100 Thieves allows here for them to be be a little bit more proactive and very aggressive into like Southside crunches, because you could actually count on a lot of Cryo holding back here towards the dish. If they lose control of Arcade, for example, as a quarter, he's going to TP and not allow his opponents to push towards that spawn. So the game plan is very good still with this composition here for 100 Thieves, but also probably at this point could be figured out. So they have to come up with something a little bit more different this time around with this top.
Yeah,
I'm seeing 100 Thieves starting on their defense, and they love to fight off the rip. I mean, Fracture just really thrives, I think, as soon as the barriers drop in trying to take a portion of map control off the rip. But NRG, if they've done their homework, which I'm assuming they have, they should be ready for this as well. One thing in particular they've got to be particularly looking out for is that arcade push that 100 Thieves love to go for as those barriers drop as well. If you get caught unaware, you need to have a plan, I think, a plan of action for these deep pushes that 100 Thieves just love to go for, the over-aggressive pushes occasionally that they go for. If they have a plan to punish, to try and contain as well, find out where these hits are coming through, and then reacting accordingly, that should be working out in NRG's favor.
And that's why the Cypher is a perfect role right now for Finesse, because he's playing double tris, puts the camera. There's been a lot of these moments when they're playing on Fracture where when you're not doing these Southside crunch, you're not playing North Side, there's just so much information for Finesse to know, okay, well, they're going to play a little bit more turtled up, a little bit more passive, maybe trap plays towards the hallway on the A side. So you have to make sure for 100 Thieves' side that you actually try to contest those trips left behind by Finesse to kind of get him guessing on the attack side here for NRG. If not, it should be some easier calls coming out for the IGL, the seasoned IGL for NRG to have a very strong attack side on their end.
And oh man, I could tell you one thing though, from what I've been, or rather from listening to what you guys are talking about here, it does feel like, given the pedigree, the experience both of these teams have, you know, the coaching staff in both of these teams, one thing is for certain, both squads are ready to go. And I know that we are as well. So let's go ahead and send it over for map one. Excuse me, tier casters. It's two drama enjoyers. It's Mimi and Ender.
And we have a lot of drama in this game, GB. We've only had 3 IGLs in America's win a global tournament that are left here in Stage 1 playoffs. 2 of them are in the server today, up for elimination in the first round, and they have had some rough stages. They're both down if you look at KPR, ACS, ADR, any of the killing people in the game stats. They are the bottom 2 players left in playoffs. But they are still talking trash. Busio says he is going to retire Finesse today. He's got to put his money where his mouth is as we load up fast with Samsung SSDs and get into this game.
Yeah, Busio talking big trash online, and the interviews coming in as well. But the last team these teams faced off during kickoff, it was NRG that came out on top 2-1. Busio not feeling good after that. So early on in this round, 100 Thieves guessing wrong, going up towards the north side of the map, while NRG have 5 players ready to move in to be off this aggro.
And that is talking about it. 100 Thieves dismount, play a ton of 4-1s. They get really proactive with these kind of pushes. So NRG's job, in a lot of ways, is figuring out where that proactivity is going.
Now the thing is, because NRG only had a camera up on that north side, I don't think they got full info of that early aggro, so they didn't accelerate quickly into B. Instead, playing very reserved, and you're going to see this a lot from NRG on the attacking side. It's very slow, very deliberate rounds before they actually get the spike down.
Cryo had a bit of a rough game yesterday that 100 Thieves lost against MIBR, but he was the best player statistically in the group stage, and he's in positions like this quite a lot, alone on the site, holding things down. Up top goes Mata, and Cryo gets out of there.
Yeah, he's going to be able to live, and at the same time, 100 Thieves have 4 players sprinting through spawn on that south side. NRG need to turn around and deal with that flank.
Asena's going to be quick through, off the drop of the cage. But NRG, they're committed onto the site here. They have good positions already.
NRG will oftentimes take into the defender spawn on their attack in the post plant, like they're doing now.
Here comes the fight. They deal with Cryo. Lots of space gained for 100 Thieves, but in comes the retake. 100 Thieves trying to work their way out of sand, but NRG's taking the fight to them. Maybe a bit too far. Evens to a 2-on-2.
I must wait.
Finesse on site. And his buddy low. And with the crossfire.
Player standing.
But Finesse is gone, and now Som. A tough task. Xander's holding on to the angle, swing in, and Som's down. 100 Thieves somehow pull out the pistol.
I genuinely have no idea what happened there. Xander just chose to win the round, I suppose.
Yeah, what happened to Finesse? He had a 100 HP top side and just got deleted.
NRG had the numbers advantage going in here. We'll check it out again. It's just the sand fight. A good flash, I think, that came out from Busio, hitting 4 players, or at least forcing them to turn and try and dodge the flash. Xander just ate him up.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, Finesse just takes the strike looking up top there, and they lose a pretty big pistol round. This is good for 100 Thieves. Went 0-4 on their pistol rounds yesterday.
Yeah, really struggling in that department. Lost some anti-bonuses as well, so starting off on the right foot. Also just getting early money for Cryo to get an operator online in this half. It's one thing that 100 Thieves are super effective on this map. Any Cryo chamber map is brutal, and especially with the slower pace that NRG usually go for on their attacking side, I think Cryo's gonna be a big issue for them.
This runs a little quicker. Mata sends in alone, and in comes the flank from 100 Thieves. These are the kind of rounds you expect from a team playing on the Neon, mid-air with the classic, and Finesse adds up the stats a bit, but won't be able to do anything more.
Yeah, Finesse is going to have to be on his toes for a lot of these early round aggro pieces of 100 Thieves. I think one of the things that 100 Thieves will have seen in the NRG tape on this map, because they played it a few times, is NRG will usually leave Finesse on his own, sort of islanded. If, you know, there's 4 players on the south side, he's going to be up on the north, or vice versa. And other teams have tried to punish him by going for those pinches early.
And it's not just this map. We get later into the series playing defense on Haven or defense on Icebox. NRG loves playing 4-1 rounds on both sides of the map.
Well, in this one, it's going to be a 3-2 round. Though still, this early smoke is going to be a little bit frustrating for NRG.
Well, that's a good stun onto Cryo. Has to back away. So that's great space taken, and Cryo just barely jumps out of harm's way. They're going to lose the site in the process. Xander, pretty isolated up here in Heaven. Trying to deal with a lot of angles. In comes his support from Asuna, but he's not long, and in no way a help to Xander, who has even more util in his face. Finally, he'll die, and now this retake is difficult.
Yeah, might need to start thinking about a save here. Keep that up alive. It's still just on 2 HP, but there are a couple players tucked back into slant.
Flash gets them out.
Whoa,
Huge spots one. It should have been a free kill, but Brock covers his teammates back, and I think now 100 Thieves are going to call the save.
Yeah, Boosty will go in there for a few more kills on the way out. He, of course, can buy up going into the next round. 100 Thieves just need to make sure they keep that operator online, because, again, that is going to be the win condition for 100 Thieves throughout this half. Although, you got to respect NRG for dealing very nicely with it in this first round they saw it.
Yeah, had some really good util to push him off the angles. The way they also cleared out into Heaven there was very thorough from NRG. I think this Fracture has been one of their better maps when it comes to the way they're taking sites, how the util is all stacked up. It's been on point between Brock and Ethan.
And I was a little worried for them, because there was this early smoke that went over into the arcade space. And they ended up just pushing straight on through it, not getting sort of, you know, pushed away by that early aggression of 100 Thieves. NRG called to just swing on through.
Thanks to Cryo saving that off. There's going to be a little more 400 Thieves coming into this one. And we've already seen a lot of the strategy coming into the fold. Cryo is always going to be anchoring pretty much alone, maybe with 1 player maximum. And it's all about these quick rotations and the flood retakes for Asuna on the Neon.
Exactly. He's going to be super mobile around the map. This round, actually, just a stinger in his hands. He's going to be on the A side of the map.
Just as good in the hands of a Neon.
Yeah, and right now you actually have Boostio playing over on that A site, fault line in hand to go off the contact that his duelist would find. Right now, NRG calling away from it, though.
Just waiting for the smoke to dissipate. And finally, scaling into that space for NRG now. Cryo doesn't get caught by the drone. He's going to repost on the angle here.
Win for Mata as well, grabbing the orb. And again, NRG are a little bit concerned because there hasn't been any indication of early aggro, but going back into the re-clear in A main without the drone is going to be tough for them.
Stun missiles ready off Asuna's contact. He's sure to follow with a slide on in. Here goes the utility, and Asuna sends himself forward. Mata protects well. Both players stunned. Asuna has to isolate this fight, and he does it. But through the smoke, Brock, he manages to reply.
And all this time, Finesse has been hanging out over in Underpass on the B side, hearing for rotations, but he didn't hear anyone leave the site. And now they're going into this operator. Brutal.
It's easy. Cryo farms up 2.
Down B.
And that's the round. Finesse, a 1v4. Spike not in his hands. Should get a kill onto Boostio. Surely gets the kill onto Boostio. A 1v1 everyone was waiting for, and maybe goes the way some would have expected.
Oh no, and Boostio's letting him know as well. Talking a big game before the series today. gets the better in the first face-off one-on-one. And really, this is a round where, again, going into this late reclear, because 100 Thieves weren't getting, quick foot in the mid-rounds, they weren't over-rotating, they still had that stack on the A side. Even after they run into that hit from NRG, they've still left their anchor in Cryo. He's not going anywhere, and he's ready for that late round pivot.
Nice! Good shit!
NRG, another 4-1 look, heading over towards B, and another chance for Cryo to try and work through this utility.
Yeah, really weird force down from NRG here. Ethan down to nothing, Finesse too.
This is really quick. Rocket's already into the site. Goodbye, Cryo. Mata once more. Knows there's a player stuck in north side, and Xander has created a little home, a bubble, to find himself within, but there are enemies at the gate, and he's got to deal with it. Stinger's too fast. No adjustment, and the rest of the team for 100 Thieves starts to finally arrive on the scene. As NRG, they look somewhere else.
Yeah, NRG are just leaving, right? As soon as that Armageddon comes down, they realize north side is open, although Austin is still on the hunt.
Oh, slide ready, spots out one, and Brock. Great crosshair placement.
They're gonna cool down and move back into B. NRG almost in a tough spot because Brock was the guy with the spike. And his teammates had abandoned him. Now, though, they group up. They'll play the numbers back into underpass, I think, to re-clear front B.
They'll leave Sam as an embed. Does Busio choose to go for a walk here? He'll tuck back into the site.
Oh, no.
There's a lot coming his way, and this timing could be brutal. Busio just barely gets into heaven.
Well, now NRG are kind of spreading apart. There's options for Busio to isolate these fights.
Oh, doesn't make a footstep. Still an unknown quantity up in tower.
Tough for EU, though. Look at the positioning of that raise. Mata is all the way in his spawn.
Busio sticking around. Still yet to show his hand. And EU creeping in Austin. And Mata has that corner held. Now just Boosty showing his cards, but getting some kills. A 1-on-2 now, but the time is low. Ethan has a stun, Mata a nade, and that's that. NRG close out the post plant.
NRG made a really strange decision in between the rounds, just going for the 3 rifles. I think Finesse had money to buy even more, but all he gave himself was the Sheriff. It didn't matter, though. It was the showstopper to get in the site very quickly. Brock's cool head there at the end was what wrapped it up for NRG.
Who will I spot first?
Be around with Cryo glass-opping as well, alone on the A side.
This also looks like a fracture round. Lots of ults on board for 100 Thieves. They love building those set plays when they have a combo like the Rolling Thunder online, and you hear fight in. Out comes the finger guns for Asuna, but not really finding anyone. It's Xander instead going big damage. And trades coming back in from NRG. Busio not caught on the flash in a high-low setup. There's the Rolling Thunder. Players push back. Boosty replies with one of his own. And it's a stalemate.
Everybody's dizzy. Cryo also broke a trip outside A main, so NRG have a lot of pressure on them to go back in, reclaim the spike, hunt for a little bit more.
Finesse spotted out by the player in heaven, Busio. That's one. Thanks to his teammate, and realize it hears the sound, but Mata, too good for it.
Tripwire kind of gives up the game now for Cryo.
Where is everyone?
Again, no armor on him. Now the Neural Theft gives up his position as well, so Finesse will crawl back into defender spawn. NRG love playing post plants from spots like these.
The Cypher Cam, another problem for Cryo. He's dealt with that.
I just don't see how you get back in here. I don't even know if you play the round.
He has 100 credits to his name. His teammates are broke too.
Yeah, definitely going to fall off of here and save. And you know what? I liked the initial idea from 100 Thieves because what we've seen at the start of rounds is Finesse keeps going for these like forward cameras placed after round start to get info of the early aggro piece. So 100 Thieves see that cam, break it, and immediately turn around and go fight up on the north side of the map. It was just really well played from Mata to get NRG back in the round.
Mata's been really outstanding at the start of this map. Had a couple key rounds in the last 2 that NRG have won with his individual impact, and has definitely been the shining light for them all year long since they made the choice to pick up this rookie.
Now with Brock next to them, NRG looking a bit reinvigorated. We've got a bit of a moment to breathe here, but again, looking at this round, like Mata just doing some good work on that corner, takes the timing in through the Cypher cage as well. Because that was not an easy position to play from.
So the first timeout called for 100 Thieves. Their money's going to be reset here. They did save the op through, so that's one thing they're talking about. But I imagine also a strategic change, because thus far NRG, they've had a really good read on figuring out where these hits are coming from, finding the weak site, and getting that plant down.
Honestly, if I am expecting what Zix is coming in with the call from here, he's saying, look, NRG have seen us going for a ton of these flanks. We need to threaten the flank in terms of breaking Cypher utility, but I'd like to see them rotate over more quickly and flood into the sites.
These timeouts are going to be cool to keep your eyes on. Mike's now the coach of NRG. Had a long tenure with 100 Thieves, playing with the likes of Asuna on this roster all the way back since 2022. He got dropped after 100 Thieves' struggles at the end of 2024. Wasn't on a team for Kickoff, and midway through, after NRG got rid of Bongar, he got his chance with this squad and kind of gets his first shot at revenge against the team that got rid of him.
Exactly, and if we do end up making it to an Icebox map 3, that's a map where 100 Thieves play the exact same comp for the same 5 players as they had last year as well, so you better believe the counter-stratting is going to be strong for NRG.
Satchel out.
Oh, a little early on the satchel from Mata.
There.
Just like they planned it in the timeout, no worries. This time, out of the timeout, 100 Thieves going for a trap setup in arcade instead of the full sprint at you look.
They'll pivot the util towards B main instead. NRG might just want to call a cancel now, but actually through the smoke. Som gets one on the spam. Happy accident from him.
The only concern for NRG would be if they were to go back into the operator, which has now moved all the way up into A main.
Looks like NRG do just want to re-hit into B though.
Yeah, NRG have done a lot of this. And remember, they got burned the last time they tried to pivot back and forth between the sites, so seems to me like Finesse has changed his initial planning a bit to just freeze re-hit instead.
When you're playing against a Neon, fast rotates. She'll almost always be on the scene. Here comes the execute. Asuna, I mean, talk of speed. What? He's bounding forward, still alive, as his team lights up the scoreboard with Sheriff shots, but they need more still. EU with the recovered gun can't stand against Finesse. And a 1v2. Another shot for Cryo and a freebie. He knows where the last man is. Needs to find this shot, but swings into Ethan and falls down instead.
Wow. Somehow 100 Thieves almost having a chance there, but Finesse keeps it cool, secures the round for his team back-to-back with Ethan. The vets for the squad coming up big. How did these shots even happen?
Asuna, I think that's the best answer to your question.
But there was also the kills coming in from Boostio too. Like, yeah, Asuna's sliding around, headshot and whatever.
Yes! Ethan, don't worry, don't worry.
I don't know what I heard, bro.
Locating target.
NRG, quick take of space towards arcade. Looking to go for another B split here. But Cryo, he's never been this far up on the line.
And again, there's a push through on the south side. Look how quickly Asuna is moving on this flank.
NRG are already kind of encircled. Have to make a choice quickly because pressure's coming in. There's the fight. Cryo takes the first Finesse. Stuck in a horrible position with Asuna sliding into his face.
And yet still NRG have been able to make it back up into tower. Not easy to get out of that corner though. But Mata has been the hero today for NRG.
They're trying to fall back. Brock holding the line. Standoff at the corner. Flash forward. But Asuna in the tight angle. He'll fall back as well.
Xanta creeping up a bit. Puts down a smoke, which actually gives an exit window for NRG now.
So the situation is diffused for now. NRG, they've done a ton of re-hits into the same site they showed early, and this time they're going to actually call the pivot.
I like that they use Asuna here for the quick rotate for information. He's going to open door into main, and that's going to be such an unexpected position
I
now.
don't think 100 Thieves heard the door.
Or NRG, really, especially with him tucked up so close in main.
Yep, here comes the rocket for Mata. He's fully worried about players in spawn. Yet to consider Asuna. When does he choose to strike? Rocket actually nearly finds its mark. In goes Asuna. Slide onto the planter, trying to adjust the aim, but Mata, they are in time with the protection.
100 Thieves waiting now. Double flank coming in and baiting with the open door. Puts NRG in completely isolated positions.
Brock up top. Too many angles for him. And so the rookie's in the clutch. The ult at his feet has to go on the run! And he almost finds that second player. Xander, the safe hands for 100 Thieves.
That was almost insane out of Mata. 100 Thieves navigate well through that muddy round, right? There's a lot of different mind games going on between Finesse and Boostio there. Whether it's, you know, that late pinch coming in on the south side, NRG freezing, maybe they're retaking, maybe they're gonna rotate. It was a combination of that pinch play with the flank with Cryo's op. And 100 Thieves really prioritizing A main in the post plant that locked that down for them.
I wanted a 1G, it would have been a good clip. Oh, no, it would not. No. I mean, it would have been good if you wanted to get made fun of.
Almost walking into the annihilation there, I think.
Crazy. And 100 Thieves on a round win, by the way. Look at their guns. That is rough.
Yeah, 2 rifles and the operator.
Interesting, though, for NRG, putting the Tejo solo on the north side. Usually there's more players behind that.
Hello, Ethan. Asuna has a tasty target. The adjustment was good, but Ethan a bit faster and keeps the round even.
Duelist 1-for-1 trade. Usually going to benefit the defensive side here.
Which way are we going? Players crossing each other up on the ropes?
I don't know if NRG even know yet. It's the north side, and we're hearing all of this, by the way, Xander at least.
So 100 Thieves keep 3 on the A side.
Taking the site out of drop without a duelist. Remember, NRG was a team that went in their first map of this stage. They kept going for the raised top site plants A over and over again, playing
Didn't
the post
go too
plants.
well for them.
They really like playing the post plant from up drop, but actually hitting the site is tough, unless 100 Thieves just bundle up and leave it.
And that's exactly what is happening here.
Oh, the worm smoke attack.
Yeah. Ew. Missiles. And here comes the fight from NRG, pushing forward into main. Stun from Brock, not connecting. Swing wide from the 100 Thieves. And they're going to keep this one rolling. Keep heading their way up through main. It's Cryo. Deals with players on the other side, and it's just overwhelming on the retake.
I can't help but feel like NRG are A, being so pressured at the start of rounds, and B, playing rounds with almost no information, right? They oftentimes are finding themselves grouping up in the mid rounds, acting together, not really going for any lurks or things like this, which makes sense against the chamber. Certainly not an easy thing to go for.
Center!
But with how actively 100 Thieves have been playing in the mid rounds and taking space towards NRG's own side of the map, it's putting them in really awkward positions once it comes time to actually take a site.
Xander had a lot of criticism from the community after some underperformances their last game, some of the early series in Stage 1 as well. But thus far, he has been taking over on this map. 12-4 on the Brimstone for 100 Thieves as NRG's going to call their first timeout.
Yeah, that was starting all the way back in the pistol for Xander with the 4K that won a round out of nowhere for 100 Thieves. It's a very different type of game. If that had gone NRG's way like it looked it was going.
3 rounds left to play in the half for NRG. Trying to come back in. They had control of this game for a while. These slow re-hits were working, but like you mentioned, 100 Thieves just playing a lot of these death ball rounds and have been winning on just these late round flood retakes.
Yeah, I think NRG need to be putting more focus on sort of their anti-aggro protocols, actually turn around and deal with some of these fights. 100 Thieves have been unrelenting. A lot of times teams will start off a half, play 6 rounds like that and do a lot of aggro and then slow down, run more fakes, you know, so that you're kind of always guessing in the back of your head. 100 Thieves have just been fighting over and over again. They trust themselves and have full confidence in the fights.
I don't think NRG is going to slow down either. Here's the fight towards A main. The Neon slides in and the smoke keeps him off for now. Mata through. Another smoke. That's onto EU. Who's going to come out on top? Asuna stunned in the face and backing away finally, but the reposition from Mata expected. And now the Sheriffs ring out for another. It slows down.
Exactly where.
Cypher ult you swing in with the ultimate. That'll force one man out onto the island. And it's a 2-on-2. Another standoff for Xander. Stepping up in another round. 1v1 against Sam. Cryo, he's gonna be late to arrive and help his teammate. But through the smoke he goes. All posted on the angle, and 100 Thieves win it out.
Solid anti-eco for 100 Thieves there, even though it started slipping a bit in the middle of it all.
I feel like the most solid.
Solid in the sense that Xander is going to be there to lock things down,
Sure.
no problem.
Another nice 3 kills from him.
No, because honestly, I think Mata being in that position was fairly unexpected. If Mata is able to take down Xander, it's a different story, but once he was able to get back into the site, play those longer lines, wasn't so much of a concern.
Seen this start around a lot from NRG. The 3-2 split towards B. It's another fight right at the start. And again, it's Xander. This guy's taking over.
The opening fights have just been a mess for NRG. 100 Thieves have talked a lot as a team about how they love to play scrappy, how they love to go for these brawls. It's been working.
Finesse turned this 2v5 into a 2-on-3. Psalm waiting on the fate of the smoke.
Yeah, the problem is the Spike is in a bit of a pickle.
Finesse is going all the way around the map.
Yeah, but again, there's a cipher or a chamber trip.
It's offline for a second.
Oh,
Actually pulled back.
I was gonna say he was intentionally staying in range of it and then chose not to. The second to Finesse is going for the lurk.
Oh, the timing. Cryo's holding this with an up. Surely he's ready. Surely he wins this against Finesse. That's one from Sam. Maybe that pulls attention. The Chamber's not looking at the flank. Cryo turns back to Jack. Finesse doesn't get it. And now this becomes all the more challenging for Sam.
What, you don't believe in 5 HP in a dream?
30 seconds
Not
left.
really. He's walking into the operator, Cryo. He misses the first shot. But only needs 1 bullet with the headhunter and he'll get it.
Again, these opening fights, it's just a complete difference maker. NRG, even after timeouts, been unable to find an answer. And personally, I have a lot more belief on their defensive side. I think as a team, NRG play much better on defense across basically every map. When they can control play, a calmer pace of rounds. But as 100 Thieves continue to just inject chaos at the start of every round, it's been them on top the last 4 in a row now.
Here we go again. It's gonna be a fight in B main. Asuna slides forward. Stun in. Mata stuck in the smoke. The ultimate. It's the best weapon in that position as 100 Thieves 3 for 1 on the trade.
And again, that's the Spike, the only potential wrinkle. Ethan in underpass, but with the jump swings around, 1 for 1 is the best he can do. That wraps up the half, 8-4 for the 100 Thieves.
And 100 Thieves won it their way. These last 3 rounds, all literally just 4-1, leave Cryo alone on a site, and run it down on the other side.
Xander on the Brimstone at halftime, 19-5. Just normal behavior from the newest edition
Yeah,
to
they can
100
actually
Thieves.
drop the neon from the comp and just let him stim beacon run it down every round. Seems pretty damn good. And Zix is happy about it. It's an 8-4 start to this game for 100 Thieves. They're strong on 100 on this map, but NRG have a chance at their favorite defense when we return.
You might have heard I'm going through a little upgrade with my tats. So when Verizon announced that everyone gets a free phone on any plan, pain-free, count me in. Try and beat it. I'll give you a sec.
Well, 100 Thieves win 5 rounds in a row to end the first half here on Fracture, with the Brimstone leading the way. He's 19-5 as we head over to the Thieves defense.
Yeah, 100 Thieves kind of took the wind out of NRG's sails there. And again, if they can back it up with another pistol round, sort of fix the problems that they were facing yesterday in their series loss versus MIBR, we could be out of this first map fairly quick. Fracture tends to snowball relatively quickly.
Last time these teams played, it was a 2-1 victory for NRG. That was all the way back at the start of Kickoff. As Hatsuna, oh my god. Mata's dead off spam through the smoke, and 100 Thieves, they're not going to slow this tempo. They keep it going.
Go! I mean, no fear. Even once his duelist is down, he's the one to pick up the mantle.
And look at this lurk from Cryo. He walked into A main, they call back into him, and this is going to be a completely free site.
Yeah, the thing is, 100 Thieves saw everyone except for the Cypher, so that's all they're worried about. Now they know the location of a tripwire. Didn't quite catch him in spawn, but keep your eyes on this double flank. Coming in a bit quicker than you'd expect towards main.
You ready for it, though? He's good on that angle. Goes 1 for 1, and they'll be happy enough about that trade. Still util online for the post plant, and still an isolated 2v1 that they clean up. 100 Thieves facing Finesse in the 1v3. I think Boostio might want to step into the ring against this man. And he's able to get 1.
Problem is now Boostio going on a walk into sand is going to realize Finesse 100% went into main. Now how do you play the defuse here with the spike out in the open and no information?
He's got 1 cage, but he does not have time. Xander ready. Does enough to dissuade the defuse and win the pistol for 100 Thieves. 0 for 4 last night in their pistol round win rate. 2-0 to start this series.
Not too shabby so far for them. Especially, what was that? Was that Asuna just finding the spam shot at the start of the round?
Literally just spamming with the ghost head level.
So frustrating for NRG too, because they put a brimstone smoke into that play. They wanted to force players out of that space.
And you called it out. I love the confidence for Xander. In a lot of Neon comps, the Neon is going to be
Xander, tralaleo, tralalo.
Okay, buddy. As I was saying, the Neon's going to be completely alone, but not here, because every round, Brim is stimmed up running with them, and they have some weird synergy going on there that we saw on display.
I'm going to cope for NRG a bit
Let's hear it.
Because 100 Thieves did actually win the last pistol yesterday, but then proceeded to lose the round 2 after it. Oh. It was some ultimate trolling.
I literally remembered in my head it's 0-4.
Yeah.
It got stolen immediately.
And then the round just completely snowballed out from them. NRG would have to tap into some of that magic, and I mean, they have full north side control.
Yeah.
My concern is they have...
What else do they have?
No A control.
Yeah. And 100 Thieves is going towards A.
Yeah. 100 Thieves even baiting out a second smoke from Psalm in the round by dropping a drone down over onto B. It's now in a retake. That's not a lot of time you can stall off those main players from with the single brim smoke.
Here it is, A take, completely uncontested.
This hit is a preview of how unfun it would be to be a site anchor for NRG in future rounds. Util's just about everywhere. Triple flank on the south side, Zoe.
EU should hold this. He's stunned, low, and dead, but Cryo's arrived. Should be able to protect here. Nice shots on the Guardian. And Ethan, no more teammates with him, backs away.
Yeah, he's going on the zipline. Get out of dodge. NRG gonna switch to playing for exits and die to spike if the opportunity arises.
Asuna's gonna get 1 kill. Gotta go. And 100 Thieves will just group up together and start to exit their way through spawn, winning every fight in the process. Should drop 1 more gun there, so something lost, but they pick stuff up and it's all good. 10-4 up now.
At the end of the day, double digits. 100 Thieves are in a beautiful position at the moment.
Let's talk about the talent predictions. I'm the only one who picks 100 Thieves in this game. That is crazy.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was doing something special.
I mean, you were talking to me and you were bigging it up like I'm the one true believer. So believe in them this round. Tell me how they're gonna pull out this defense.
Well, actually, I was gonna say the guns, but 100 Thieves choose to buy up here. So we'll see. NRG are playing fully off the B side. Look, Finesse, it's time to get some spam kills off the tripwires. We're playing full retake for NRG, but they're gonna need to get something done here against Asuna.
Unfortunately, the trips are set up for Neon pathing through B main, not up through Heaven.
Okay, well that's a cam dealt with. That's one trip, only one left.
It's giving 5v5 retake.
It's giving double flank on the north side, only EU holding.
But Asuna wants to fight through spawn. Sam, ooh, the timing could be perfect for Asuna. He's walking all the way through and he's clean with the first bullet slide. The movement, it's too good. But his teammates have to do the job now. Stuns up, Brock gets one more, and that might be enough to keep NRG in this round. They've got it down to 1. EU stuck in the corner and Mata, it's good out of him. NRG, it got dicey for a moment there.
Yeah,
they pulled through.
100 Thieves tried to get a little crafty with it. Couple players walking into spawn, but really nice work out of Brock, you've got to say. Holding that position with no support coming in from his teammates and getting 2 there.
Yeah, full stun for the second kill as well.
Yeah, there's blinds being thrown his way as well. Wow.
One enemy. Clearing out. One enemy remaining.
Because 100 Thieves went for the force up there. Now their econ's a bit broken.
Classic trap play setup for A main.
The concern for NRG is if they overfight into main, Asuna can accelerate really quickly out of drop. So I think it's good from NRG to turn around, give up the A main space.
Love the reposition from Ethan. Tucks onto the site. Rocket popped Asuna. He's already off of the entry and no one was there to follow him up. Only these players in main who are coming late and damaged by the rocket Mata. He wants to follow through. Walks out of the smoke and deeper into main. No one's watching the timing. It's too good, but he doesn't expect Xander.
Right now, 2 players rotating back on zip lines. 100 Thieves want to regroup, play 3 together, and come back into the A side. They want to play around Xander. He's the only rifle for them, but there's maybe a gun they can pick up in main.
Sam's going for a walk. Brock with him. It'll be a 3v2 in main. Contact main, triple swing, 100 Thieves.
Down A.
Put Finesse in another clutch.
30 seconds left.
It's a bit of a disaster for Finesse. All his util was B. And now in the post plant, EU's got a full kit. Xander's got a molly as well. Last time Finesse was in the clutch, he took his sweet time and lost on it. He's got to act much more quickly now.
You want to see him roll back the years, show some confidence. But he's already spotted. Missiles flying in. Finesse just runs straight into Xander's bullets. And 100 Thieves come through with their 11.
That is tough. 100 Thieves sort of ping-ponging back and forth between north and south side. NRG, it looked like they had the right read initially, but that double walk-up into main failing like it did. It's just the end of things for them, truly. I don't know if walking into Xander's the call.
No, it's not the greatest. NRG are going to use their second timeout here.
It's actually a life game from Xander. Oh my god.
25 and 6, Kristen.
That's unreal.
Casual, what? Nearly 5.0 KD?
Yeah. Yeah, 25 divided by 5 is 5. So,
yeah, but so 6 is like the 5 of 6s, if you think about it.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it too hard, and I don't think you should either.
So maybe stop thinking about it. Think about this time.
Stop thinking about it, yeah, honestly. Truthfully, I don't know. Look, Brock's got an ultimate, but NRG have done, the last few rounds, it's been the same pattern. It's been Brimstone, Cypher playing on the B side, playing fairly retake, you know. That's your best stall, that makes some sense. While NRG tried to fight over A, but it seemed like NRG tried to go on that fact-finding mission in the mid-round and just fell apart. It doesn't necessarily even feel like it's a macro error of NRG's. It's in the micro.
It feels like they've contacted into like a lot of team fights and just lost out the trades.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to search for a consistent issue that NRG are running into, and I'm not sure it's been something, you know, that one thing you can pinpoint.
A lot of errors have compounded, and I mean, the scoreline reflects it. 11-5 up for 100 Thieves. This is their map choice.
NRG forced down to nothing. Looking for B-split.
They push into B main. Psalm walking deep around this smoke. Does he go into it? He does, but 100 Thieves, they're prepared, and down goes the duo.
Well, maybe you were on it, Mimi. The contact play getting punished again. That time it's around where NRG had trips to stop the flood coming in, or the flip of the map coming into their spawn. They're pushing out of A. And now using the ultimate. NRG know it's do or die this round right here in a 3v5.
They have to win it. Game on the line. And they're stalled out again. Brimstone orbital strike buys time, and Boostio cuts them down to 1. Brock knows there's no hope. It's just a stinger. He'll face Boosty. He's not gonna escape with his life. 12-5. And that round, a disaster for NRG.
Yeah, NRG, they're trying to, you know, make it a shocking round, right? Because the last few rounds, they played retake on the B side. So you have their A players making noise. But that position inside of the smoke, there's just not really a chance for NRG. I mean, look, he's looking straight down on you.
One enemy remaining. There. It's over.
And Neon might be right. 12-5 now.
I don't think Neon was just talking about that round.
No. 100 Thieves show their same take towards Arcade. Another thing is, the start of every round, 100 Thieves have always been able to take whatever part of the map they want.
Except maybe this time, Mata is all the way up.
But this counter stuns, and oh, he whiffs! Xander, too good for it. Thankfully, NRG did trade this one back even, but they're not going to be able to get those guns.
NRG have fully rotated. 4 players on this side of the map.
I mean, it's just a 4v4. Get ready for a battle. Ethan, jumping, dies for it. Goodbye, NRG. 100 Thieves cut them down to the IGL again. Xander doesn't check, but the trade is in. 13-5. 100 Thieves decimate NRG to start the series.
And it's just poetry as well. Boostio getting the final kill against Finesse in the opening map.